All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. If you are a lighting contractor, installer, designer, this is the episode that you're going to want to watch. We have our great friend with us, Sarah, here today from Holiday Home Concepts. It is the Christmas light season. If you're not talking about Christmas lights and you're a Christmas light installer, I'm going to tell you right now, you were wrong. You are just so wrong and so far behind. But the good news is, with the help of Angela, and Unique Genius and our amazing friend Sarah over at Holiday Home Concepts. And I'm sorry, my camera's up here. I'm staring at this computer screen. Angela's probably gonna get mad at me looking up here. I'm looking at here. So if I look like I'm not looking at you people, I swear I am. I'm paying attention, but the camera's up here and it's just so much easier to stare at the screen. Anyway, logistics you don't care about. Sarah, happy Tuesday. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I know our company is also gearing up for the Christmas season already. Leads are already pouring in. Things are happening. New hires are being made, and it is always a race all the way to the end of the year.
Yes. And you know, it's funny because we know during the season, we're like, hey, these are the things I'm going to do better next year. And I'm going to get it. I'm going to get everything dialed in before the season comes. And then let's face it, most people put the Christmas lights on the shelf. They put the business on the shelf. And then it's like the season comes like, well, shit, I never did anything I was supposed to do. The good news is we have help. And we're going to talk about how we can help you sell more Christmas lights, give your clients the treatment they deserve, the experience they need when they call your company, and why Holiday Home Concepts will help increase your closing percentage and your average ticket. So I'm excited. I've been a user for years now. We still use you guys for the holiday lights, for the permanent lights. You just did an incredible job working with the Unique Genius team and teaching our strategic partners how to be able to design lights for our clients, which is even cooler because now as a business owner, you don't even have to do it. You just hire somebody from Unique Genius and it's done on the back end while you do what you need to be doing. So we have tons of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm excited. Welcome back, Angela. She had to get the door. It was probably spam at the door.
Yeah,
figures. Anyway,
door-to-door salespeople, but we love them. So thank you so much for being here, Sarah. Again, thank you for pouring into our people today and training them up. And we're excited to talk about Christmas and hear what's new.
Yeah, they're a fantastic group. I had so much fun training them. And then the nice thing is that when you go into your business and you have support from your admin staff where they already have a good leg up, they're sometimes even training you on how to do stuff. It takes a lot of the pressure off your shoulders as a business owner. But I am so excited to be here today. So today we're going to go over, the software, what's new, what's about to come out. Every year we add a little bit more to it and just make it better and better for y'all.
And that's what I love about you guys. Not only are you a designer for the software, but you're installers. So you're out in the field, you're actually using it. You have test cases, you have great people using it, giving you feedback. You're not just saying, hey, pay us and we will never update anything. You guys have made more changes to the software over the last 3 years that just constantly trying to set the bar. I know there's a lot of other companies out there, and we'll talk about that later, that have lighting software options for you. But I'm telling you right now, none of it compares to what you guys offer on the permanent light siding, the Christmas light siding, and the landscape lighting side.
Oh man, thank you so much for saying that. That makes me feel so good. Yeah. So how would you like to start this? Should I just go ahead and present and start talking about it? Or did you guys have a list of questions you wanted to go through first?
No, let's talk about it first. Who is this for? Why they should be signed up right now? Like, don't be waiting, like right now. Like I'm telling you right now, selling one job using Holiday Home Concepts, pay for the whole entire year, and then some, probably even next year and the year after. I've sold so many jobs just because of the software, being able to deliver the ultimate Christmas light experience. And that's answering the phone, do an in-person estimate. You can still do virtual. I'm okay with that. But you know, providing a quality estimate with a rendering so the client has 100% understanding of what you're going to deliver. There's no questions asked, and you're going to set yourself set yourself apart from anybody else out there that's saying, hey, this is JC's lighting. We can do this for $800 and we're putting lights in your house. Well, where? And what do I get with $800? Or send them a professional rendering showing exactly where it's going to go, make them understand, make them visualize. Oh, that wreath will look great up there. JC said it was going to good. And wrapping those columns with garland is going to look amazing. It's worth the extra $1,800. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big things I always say is, especially with Christmas, it comes so much faster than you think it does. If you're waiting to October to implement new systems, you're setting your team up to fail. And that's the
100%.
truth.
100%.
It is such a rush. Once you get there, the leads are pouring in. So now is the time of year that you're going to want to make those critical hires, like somebody from Unique Genius, for example, or implement a software like ours. Or if you're switching over to a whole new tool altogether for something else, even if it's just something that you use in your installation side, check out these things now, try them out now, practice, train your people now. Because if you wait, it's going to be too late. And when you're in the thick of it, it just feels like it's too much. And the worst thing is buying something and then not using it because you're just too overwhelmed to adopt it. And then you wait till the next year or the following year. So this is actually the perfect time for it. You have that lull. You know, estimates are starting to roll in, but it's nothing too unbearable quite yet. Just give it a month, that's going to change.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely now is the time for sure.
Yeah. And the learning curve on using the software is, I mean, it's so easy. Like you don't need to be a rocket scientist. And that's great for a lot of these Christmas light installers. Cause we're not the brightest freaking people out there for a Christmas light installer. We do some really good work and make a lot of people happy, but we're not the brightest. I'm talking about myself here. So if I can get it, you can get it. And I know your team can get it, but just by having the software, I'm telling you, the understanding with the clients of what they're going to be getting, the presentation, you know, all the different ways we need to set ourselves apart from our competitors in our market area, because everybody's got the same shit. We talk about this all the time. We all have insurance. We all have vehicle wraps. We all have t-shirts. We all have this. We all install lights. We all custom cut them. Okay, great. Now what can we do to separate ourselves? Well, they didn't do a professional rendering. They didn't take the time to care about, you know, what my property looked at, to make sure that all my expectations were being met, that the lights were going exactly where I needed them to go to. So this is just one part to set yourself apart. And for the price, I don't even want to talk about the price, because I'm going to tell you how much you're going to be missing out by not investing in the software and not having your team learn how to do it. And just imagine if you could just stop doing every single piece of the estimate. Like you hired an internal team, whether you got an admin, whether you have a salesperson, whether you have somebody from Unique Genius that's able to do this all for you. And the business owner is not out there answering the phones, doing the estimates, doing the follow-ups, but it's all being done from your office staff or your sales team by using the software. And there's so many great features inside of this that we'll talk about too. So let's dive into this thing. Let's see this thing. I love seeing what you can do with it. And I always learn every time you teach.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all, and we'll just go from there.
Do I need to do anything?
See here, entire screen. All right. Can everyone see my screen okay?
You're on.
Okay, awesome. So one of the nice things about Holiday Home Concepts is it does have a full dashboard where you can search for clients, create new clients, have multiple projects saved under each client. So if your client has a lake house and the residential and they own a restaurant, you can have different projects underneath them. And because all of your team can log in at the same time and use the software at the exact same time, you can trade off those projects really easily. If you're trying to just do renderings like on chat or something else like that, it's very specific to your account. If you have to make modifications or anything, if you're kicking it off to your admin, then they're having to try to log into your stuff and try to figure out everything. This way, all they have to do is search for the client's name, All the photos and projects are saved with that client, and it makes it infinitely easier. How you save your client is pretty easy. You can just put in the name of the client, the username, whatever it might be. So I'm going to call this just JC for fun right now. And you can pull in photos from just about anywhere. Your photo gallery will be specific to your client, and you can really do just about anything. So a lot of people will just take a screenshot right off of Google Earth. Maybe they're pulling something off of Zillow, wherever that might be. After that, that's where the magic starts. You select your photo, and we have our yardstick. This is a way of telling the software how long something is in real life. And it is so important because it scales everything for you. So a lot of other softwares will tell you, do you want small, medium, or large bulbs? Do you want them spaced a little bit apart, a medium amount apart, or a big amount apart? And it's all just very use your imagination. This is kind of sort of what it's going to feel like. Whereas with our software, it's actually measuring out for you as you're designing. So you're able to pick whatever color pattern you want. You can do double colors, triple colors, whatever is going to work for you. You can choose the spacing you are installing in real life, 12-inch, 15-inch. Most installers nowadays use 15-inch. And that's what it's going to actually look like. The bulb size, the spacing versus 12-inch versus any of the other spacings that you commonly use. And so as we're drawing it, as you can see, it looks really beautiful already. In our quick estimate, right below our image, we're actually able to see what is the item, what type of item is it, right? C9's multicolor, the variety, 15-inch spacing, 37 bulbs, 46.3 feet. And it's going to multiply it by your company's pricing. I think what really makes this easy to use on a larger organizational level is that you as the owner get to put in your pricing in our drop-down menu. So if you don't offer something, you can just leave it as 0, and your designers are not going to be able to see solutions for those items unless they ask you. So they can only sell the things that you sell. And since it's by your pricing, it's automatically calculating as you go, which makes things so much easier to do. So it's really fast. It's really easy to do. We have a great duplicate button now where you can duplicate the entire project and just change it all at once. We have a select all button, so you can very quickly add in new colors, new varieties of whatever it is that you need, and just keep on going if you want to. We have a new duplicate button, so you can just duplicate everything from design 1 onto design 2, and then just quickly change things up to be exactly what you need them to be. So really fast, very easy to do. If you have a lot of depth going into your photo, which a lot of homes are going to have depth, maybe there's really deep cutbacks. Maybe you're going to be doing your upper ridges. Maybe you're going to be doing your garden lines. Our software allows you to upload the aerial version of that same project. You can color code your lines as you draw them. So you can see I color coded my garden bed versus my walkway versus my ridges. And that way I can actually see it all broken down. I know how much I need for that walkway versus the garden bed. So how many stakes I'm going to need versus how many clips am I going to need, and so forth, which makes it a lot easier to do. I can add together my numbers, and I can give my client something really beautiful and put together, but this way I'm getting a really comprehensive measurement and adding everything together all at once, which is really nice. Another big thing that I really like about our software is that since it scales, it doesn't scale just for the lights, it scales for everything. So if you're trying to figure out, do I need a 60-inch wreath versus a 48-inch wreath, you can try it out and see how that's going to look, 36 and so forth. And it's automatically adding as we go. The worst thing is showing up to a job where you quoted for a 48-inch wreath because you just stretched it and you're like, that looks about right. And it's not right. And really, it should have been a 60-inch. guess who's on the hook for that one? You as the installer. And it costs so much more to then have to, fix that, go back to the shop, bring back something that it costs you a lot more money. So there's a lot that you can do with it. The other big thing with our decor, especially, is that all the decor are types of decor that you can find with real vendors. So our bows look like the bows that you're going to buy, the red velvet, the red with gold trim, all that kind of stuff. These are things you will actually find at most professional vendors. They're not just some clip art looking items that don't really meet the expectations of your clients. So that's also something that's really important. It's all about mitigating expectations and being able to meet those expectations upon installation. You want your client to say, oh my gosh, it looks just like the photo that you sent me. That is the goal. So you're also able to make your photos look darker. So this one's already kind of like sunsetty, but sometimes you're going to have photos where the sky is blue, you've got white clouds and things like that. You can bring down your lighting on the forefront pretty well. That's easy to do. But you can also swap out your background for a ton of different backgrounds that we have available. We used to only have our night sky available, but now you have pretty much anything under the sun you could possibly want. Sunsets, sunrises, cloudy nights, dark night snow. It just goes on and on. So you can really give that effect or feel of that evening Christmassy time. We also have C7s, of course, which are exactly like C9s, except smaller, which, is the case in real life as well. Our mini lights do work differently from everything else. I think one of the biggest headaches and hangups for a lot of installers is trying to figure out trees and bushes and stuff like that. And that's because it doesn't work the same way as everything else, right? You're not just wrapping the front side of a bush or a tree, you're wrapping all the way 360 degrees around. So conceptually, it looks different in your brain. That's why we have our wrap calculator at the top of the screen. So you can figure out things like, how many feet of light you're going to need for those minis, for pillars or for pine trees or deciduous trees. Our deciduous tree calculator works for bushes too, because it's just the top part of the tree, which is kind of like a bush. And we use our pillar calculator for the trunk. So for instance, let's take a look at one of the trees here. If we need to know the height of this tree and the width of this tree, we can actually get that from our software. All I have to do is draw a line up and down and one left to right, and I can actually use this to measure height and width. So we're going to do that really quickly. I'm going to look at my quick estimate. We've got right about 10 feet on the height of the tree, right about 4.5 feet or so on the width of that tree. I can delete those, and then I can go to my pine tree and I can put in that 4.5. I can put in my 10, and the spacing, that's how much space is in between each layer of light. That's how tight or loose you want your wrap. And that's really up to you as the installer. That's a more of an artistic choice. So for me, I'd probably do about 1/2 foot spacing on that kind of tree. And now I have how many feet of light I'm going to need. That is really hard to do even in person. If you're going in person, you're trying to estimate the height of a tree from a standing position, and you're looking up at it, it's harder to do than most people think. And for just drawing, it is super easy. You can just use our scatter shot option. We have bulb densities that come in low, medium, or high. And all you have to do is circle your item, and it's going to add those lights for you. That easy. So really fast, really simple. I think it's actually a lot of fun. And you can do it in multicolor. You can do it, in whatever patterning that you could possibly want. But as you can see, that was super, super fast and easy to do. We do have garland. Our garland comes in different thicknesses, which are those professional thicknesses that you all are used to. You can draw your garland in straight lines, or you can swag it just like you would in real life. You can even use our wrap calculators to figure out garland that is going to go around pillars. So like, let's say, for instance, you do need that garland that's going to swag. you can just click along using our trace tool and create a nice swag and do as many of those as you could possibly want. And that's also going to measure by the linear foot. So we're already calculating that as well. And it's just adding up for us, which is such a nice relief when you're trying to figure out exactly what you need. Now, for most installers, this about covers most of what they sell. But if you're an installer that installs, anything from Deer to, light spheres, spritzers, spotlights, we have got you covered. And if there is anything that we don't have in our software that you need, you can always use our custom button. Our custom button has a wide array of blank slots for you to add your own custom items, and you can swap those in and out of your top 10. So you can have as many library items as you want. And that way, if you have a very specialty wreath that needs to be done a certain way, or your logo, you can add that into the software however you want to, which makes it really nice to do. You can stretch it using your lights to measure if you need to. This is also great for if you are doing a lot of commercial work, maybe big mall walkthroughs or anything like that. You're going to be able to add that. This gives you a whole other skill set that doesn't require Photoshop, which is such a relief for, I think, a lot of designers. And if you don't know where to find a particular type of graphic, you kind of what you want, but you're not sure where to get it, we actually have a beautiful Need Graphics button. That Need Graphics button will take you to our graphic sales page. You can select the type of decor you need. You can go to one of our vendors, like Lights for Decorators, for instance, and you can find their decor, download it. It'll tell you the size that you need to stretch it to, and it'll give you a link of where to buy it. That way you're designing, knowing where you're going to find those items and being able to pull those things into your custom library as you go along, which makes all the difference in the world. So in addition to that, we also now have an enhancement button. I absolutely love our enhancement button. I'll show it to you guys right now. I'm going to just switch all our lights to a nice warm white, and we'll just go ahead and do that. So in the enhancement button, you'll be able to choose the style that you want, anything from a warm white design to cool white, multicolor, whichever you want, or you can even have a add snow button. So if you're someone who lives in a snowy area, you can use our add snow button, and it's going to add snow to your scene. So that way you have that nice Christmassy look. Now it feels like Christmas morning, doesn't it?
It does.
And you can always use our try again button if you want a little extra, give it another try. We have the credits built right in for you. You'll start off with 100 credits. If you run low, just send us a message and we'll add some more. Right now, we are not charging for extra credits, which is really nice because I feel like everything with AI nowadays charges you and nickels and dimes you everywhere you go. So that makes it really nice as well. One of our favorite features is our text feature. So sometimes you're going to need to add special text to your design. Sometimes it's just the name of your, particular package. Like I call mine Jolly, Extra Jolly, and Griswold, for example. Or sometimes you're going to want to add a note for your team or for the client, especially under trees. I always do something like up to 10 feet for like wraps or something like that, right? So I'll put that as a notation in a different color usually for the client. And that way, the next year when their tree has grown 4 feet and I come back and say, hey, we need to increase the price. And they say, we do, your tree grew. Here, look, we specified it's up to 10 feet. So this is something you can fall back on and rely on to help you kind of do that thing you need to do for them, which I absolutely love. So before I show you guys the permanent lighting, JC, did you have any questions for me? Because I know we just covered so much so quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm learning as I'm watching you about the aerial thing, tracing things out like that. That was pretty cool. I remember years ago, I know AI is incredible right now, but AI cannot do what you did for the commercial to be able to pull like those images and put them up there. I know in the past, I've had to pay somebody on Photoshop to do some renderings for me that took days and hundreds of dollars. Now that you have that feature in there, that just eliminates any of that. And just imagine like having your iPad, or if you're one of those weirdos, like an Android device, and you're at a customer's house doing the in-person estimate, and you're like, all right, give me 10 minutes to get your price. And you go do this in 5 minutes. And now you get them to the kitchen table. I'm like, hey, this is exactly what we talked about. You wanted those 2 REITs up there. We talked about the red and white candy cane look. We're going to wrap those trees out front, show them everything. So like, yes, this is it. And then you give them the price. And now it's like, well, they might have said that was too expensive, but now they see it and they know those 60-inch REITs look amazing up there. And I don't want to say no to those because those are like focal points for me to stare at right now. And you're showing them this, like they're believing what they're about to get. And now they're sticker shock, but they're seeing it and their mindset just changes. Like, it was a lot of money, but this is exactly what I wanted for Christmas. I don't want anything else. I want to work with you, JC. Your rendering sold me on this. Like 5 minutes can increase your average ticket just like that by showing the client what is possible.
And it's such an emotional sell too. So it pulls at their heartstrings. They're seeing something that on their own home. And again, you're meeting that expectation. So one of the things that we saw on the overhead view was the measurement for depth. You're putting in your own yardstick. You're figuring out the correct proportions. If you ask ChatGPT or even Gemini how they do their estimates, they'll say, well, there's a window here and windows are 3 to 4 feet. Therefore, this is how long these things are. It doesn't think about cutbacks. It doesn't think about the fact that your back line is further back than your front line. So it doesn't remeasure those things. If is your window 3 feet or is it 4 feet, right? Yeah. So that's up to difference. A 30% error.
Yeah.
That's a huge error. If you're 1 foot off of 28 feet, that's 1/28th of an error. That's a much smaller difference. And even then, if you look at this window here on this front, this is not a 3-foot window on any day of the week. This is maybe 2 feet wide, but AI is not going to be able to simply recognize that. And so this really helps you to mitigate some of those bigger problems that might arise. So I wanted to show you all our permanent lighting module and how that works as well.
And before we go into that, Sarah, I just want to echo a different part of like the rendering part, amazing. And you spoke to that and how much the emotional sell and all of that. But whether you are hiring somebody as an owner, you're an owner, if you don't want to do all the estimates yourself and drop all the estimates yourself, like your software is unique. People might figure out a way to use AI to do a rendering and do the emotional sell, but all of the detail on the back end that you can get, whether it's your wife, whether it's your sister, whether it's somebody you hire in person, whether it's a virtual team member with Unique Genius, the scalability of you being able to get help and get out so many more estimates because of this tool. Like you can get out, like you said, honest estimates. And it's so easy to train somebody on this tool to do it consistently. I think before this tool, like it was hard, it was an owner's eye and you're like, well, I can't have anybody else do the estimates because it takes so long to train somebody because they have to be out in the field. They have to see it. They have to visualize. They have to do all these things. And your tool makes it so someone sitting in the Philippines or somebody that's never had any training in a few hours can be trained up because you've entered your pricing and everything according to your standards, and they can be ripping out estimates for you to close those jobs. Because realistically, we have seen in the last couple of years, people would wait a couple of days for an estimate, and now lighting companies are putting out estimates in a couple of hours. And that's the new expectation.
Yeah, not only that, but your staff is going to get to know your company and they know it's right for your company. So you're going to be able to explain things to your admin like, we don't glue lights on stucco. This is a slate roof. It may not make sense for us to try to do anything on the back ridge line for this. These are all little things that design with your company in mind. Is your moneymaker laying C9, or is it wrapping trees, or is it greenery? Like, what is it for you? And that's what should lead your design. How safe is this design? Is it feasible for you to do? And so all these things, your admin is thinking about them as they are designing, as they are creating something for your client. This really maximizes how much time it takes in the field to get things done come installation time, because it's designed all of that with your company in mind. And not only that, AI is great on like that first thing. And then as soon as you have to fix one item on it, it's like, okay, well, let me reprompt it to ask to take off this line, but add on this. But oh no, now it's added here. By the time you get 5 or 6, fixes down, you might as well have just drawn it yourself. And you want to be able to easily log in, hop onto the same project that your team member is on and say, you know what, that's looking great. Let's just change this one thing. It allows for that collaboration that you normally would not get.
For sure. No, that's great points. And, again, we're not going to talk about the price yet, but it's just one of those things like this tool is the best design software out there right now, hands down. I don't care. There's some out there, other ones out there. You can use ChatGPT, but nothing can get as detailed, as thorough, as technical as this without having to go back. No, this prompt doesn't work. Do better. Add this. Fix the spacing. Like all that stuff. Like the changes are quick. I mean, once you're trained, 5 minutes in a vehicle and you're done, and you're selling $2,000, $3,000 residential jobs all day without trying.
Absolutely. Yeah. And realistically, I always say the measure of a good investment is whether you make your money back in the first year. With something like this, you're making your money back in the very first job, and 10 times over. So to me, it's well worth it. And it really allows me to, not have to be the person to do everything. One of the huge reasons why we created this software was because back before this existed and we were only installers, I was the one doing all of the estimates. I was using Photoshop. I didn't trust my staff to be able to handle something like Photoshop. I was looking at something and saying, oh, that looks like 120 feet. Why? Because I had gotten good at it. But that is not something you can replicate.
Right. And not scalable.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Then you're the bottleneck. And if you're sick or you can't do it, or it's relying on you, it's got to take 2 days because of whatever, then your client's waiting and then you lost the job.
Exactly. Or even worse, I was finding myself staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, trying to get it done, missing kids' events that were so important. Like I was like breaking inside. And so at some point I was like, something has got to give. We have to make something that is going to make sense where I'm not like chained to this computer 24/7. And that's why we created Holiday Home Concepts. And now we have VAs in other countries that work on this for us, and they're taking in calls. They'll even do it over the phone with the client. Sometimes they'll even have an option for a Zoom consultation where they'll do a screen share like this and they'll talk about it together. And I'll tell you what, the acceptance rates just went through the roof. Not only that, but we live in a huge metroplex where it takes forever to drive from one end to the other. So, sometimes we like to do our in-person estimates, but there's times where we know we cannot get out somewhere for like 3 days. Mm-hmm. My VA teams are getting it out that day, and they're getting their shoe in. And those same homeowners are telling people, oh, you know what? We don't need so-and-so to come out. We're going to go with this company who's already sent us something. Yeah. And we've already sold it.
Love it.
So it makes a huge difference.
All right. So we figured out the Christmas lights. We cracked the code. I mean, you're going to sell so many jobs because of this. And, the hot topic right now is permanent lights. There's so many companies out there adding permanent lights to their business model. It's a great way to segue from Christmas lights to permanent lights in the off season. I have sold, I don't know, close to $100,000. And I haven't used this often because I don't sell a whole lot, but I've closed over almost $100,000 in permanent lights just because of the software, just because I was able to send the rendering and the design and animation. And they're like, yes, like it's a no-brainer. Seeing is believing. So let's talk how we can segue from Christmas lights to permanent lights. And you know, for you guys doing Christmas lights, you do your business as you want. We stop everything. We stop washing. We stop permanent lights during the holiday season because we're just so busy with Christmas lights. And then we tell people we'll put your lights up in February and March when we slow down and we have time for you guys. We'll give you a little bit of discount, but let's put the Christmas lights up now. But still a great opportunity that while you're out there, you already have the pictures of the Christmas lights on the house. Now we can segue and send them renderings of the permanent lights, what that would look like. So show me this thing because it is hot.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things that I just love, love, love about our permanent lighting module is that it can really work for just about any brand. I think one of the issues I see with some of the other stuff is that it'll show lights, but it doesn't show lights the way that brand does their lights. And so sometimes the lights look too close together, or they're too far apart, or they are showing it too dark or too light. With Holiday Home Concepts, you're going to be able to tailor it to exactly what you choose to install. So we can select our permanent lighting. You'll see we have a group 1 option. This is if you have one controller, right? You can add groups if you have multiple UFOs or controllers. So if you need a building that does one thing on the top and another thing on the bottom, you can have 2 controllers doing different things within your design. Almost no other softwares do that, which is important to have, especially if you're installing on a more commercial basis. You can also choose your colors as well. So in those colors, I always recommend to people that they choose at least 4 of the same color before they transition to different colors, maybe even up to 10. And if you look at the brands that are out there, those beautiful marbling effects, they do that. They have lots of the same color before they go on to the next color. So I'll show you all really quickly. We'll just do a few blues, going into purples, going into, teal, and then we'll just add some pink or something. I feel like this is a classic color scheme that I see on a lot of permanent lighting. And from there, you're selecting the spacing that you're using in real life. This is so critical because the way that 12-inch spacing shows up versus 8-inch spacing shows up is completely different. So you really want to show off what it can do. I always recommend to people starting off with all your settings kind of in the middle and then just going from there. We always start off with no for the surface coverage. We can add that later. And you can choose how you're installing those lights. Are those lights going to be facing down, or are they going to be facing out toward the street? Do you want the color cast or do you not? After that, it's a matter of just simply drawing. We have a few different drawing tools, our strand, our trace. You can just click, hold down, pull, and then release where you want it. Of course, you're going to be drawing it where you're installing. So unlike Christmas, where you're installing right on, that roof trim, here you're going right underneath the eaves instead, which is so beautiful. It looks so even. That color is marbling just the right way. So really easy to do. If you're using the trace option, you can always pull off the screen if you're done with it. So really fast and easy to do. You can see, like, I've been talking for maybe not even 2 minutes, maybe less, and we're already pretty much done with this. We're going to bring down our lighting. We can swap out for a different kind of sky. Maybe we'll do our dark night sky this time. I actually really like the starry night. I can't get away from that one. That one just gets me every time. And from here, you can really vary up how this is going to look. So if you need to have something where maybe your backboards are a little bit brighter in these sections, you can change that opacity for just that one area or bring it back. You can change the height for just the one area or bring it back. This means every line can be adjusted to fit your needs. If you're close to the ground, you can add your surface coverage and then increase that space on the height so that it's sitting right on the ground and you have that little color splash now sitting on the ground for you, which is absolutely beautiful. And then on top of that, you have your animation preview. So you can just simply download the photo like before, or you can use our animation preview button, which is going to show those lights rotating and changing and doing things, which is one of the big selling points of permanent lighting. that it can actually do stuff. So you'll be able to hit our generate button and then download that as an MP4 onto your device. This is one of the few softwares that shows this type of animation and looks right while it is doing it as well. It is so easy to just duplicate a whole design, and then we'll just choose different colors for it. So we have design 3 has this beautiful, lighting pattern. We can get rid of design 3, but pick different lights. We don't have to redraw anything. We just have to pick new colors. So one of the things I always tell people is everyone is going to be hesitant about permanent lights because they're worried about having colors all year long. You want to be able to show them accent lighting, and that the accent lighting can look just as good, that their HOA doesn't have to be upset with them, and that it can really enhance their home. So we can have our accent lighting option, and then you can duplicate it again. And then we can go back and maybe add something for, I don't know, Christmas. So maybe we're having nice green marbling into that red color. And now we have a Christmas option for them. We just created 3 different options very quickly. We're able to turn pucks on and off as needed. So you can have any kind of pattern you want, and you can adjust it to any brand that you could possibly have. So it is by far one of my favorite items. If you do have one of those homes where maybe you're now implementing kind of an RGB landscape lighting, for example, you can add in a secondary yardstick, something bigger than what it's supposed to be, something like this. We'll hit place, and then we are going to add in our single light, 1 beam at a time. We can flip those over, and then we can place them wherever we want to go. We can change the opacity for those, just like that. And I'm going to duplicate a few of these and add them in different areas, and we'll watch them sequence out with everything else, which will be super, super cool. So maybe we'll put one right here, and we'll do another one like right here. So now when I go to my animation preview, I'm seeing those lights change with those top lights. Now you have an option for that RGB landscaping that's coinciding with those permanent lights on the roof. So there is so much you can do with it.
That's so cool. And that animation preview has sold so many jobs for the permanent lights. I mean, again, seeing is believing, and they can see what the animation looks like on their home and be like, oh my God, this is way cooler than I thought. Like, you've already won them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a brand new training system out on our YouTube page. So if you ever need a review on any of this, it's sitting there. It's fantastic. We have also added in a new type of proposal system. So this is something I was excited to show you guys today because the Unique Genius team this morning were the very first people to see the new proposal. No one had seen it except for y'all. So this is kind of an exclusive look at what's new with Holiday Home Concepts, what's coming up. I'm so excited about it. So before we had our classic proposal, which was a basic PDF, of course, you can just download the photos and put those into your CRM if you want to. But if you do need a proposal system, we've got you covered. So you can still do the classic if that's what you're used to and that's what you like. But our slideshow allows you to upload a branded video of your company. So your first slide is you talking about, I'm JC, I own Patriot Illumination. This is what makes us different. This is how we can reach here to your home. So you have maybe a 30-second video for that. You can upload your past achievement works here. You can add in whatever designs that you're planning to show people, of what you've designed for them. After that, you'll be able to override pricing if you need to for each project. This is important because sometimes, even though you're calculating things by the linear foot, you might have a project that's going to require a lift, or maybe they need a specialty timer or something unusual, and you need to be able to override that price or give them a discount. You can do that here. It won't change your back-end pricing. It just changes what the client sees. And you'll be able to do that for each of your projects, however you need to, so that it fits what you're trying to offer them. After that, hit your continue button. You'll be able to review everything one more time, and then you'll be able to change any terms and conditions you have. Your terms and conditions will automatically load from your settings, but if you need to change just one or two things within there, maybe they're a late payer, maybe you need a bigger deposit from them, you can change it for just the one client, and then you can create your slideshow. Your slideshow comes in a link, so you don't have to worry about downloading a huge file and then sending it to them. The link is a living link, so you can update it at any time whenever you're ready. And you can choose again from that classic proposal or the slideshow proposal. So our slideshow is going to look kind of like this. It'll have your logo. It's going to have the name of your project. I just call this one JC, but normally
Great name. It's a beautiful name.
And normally I would just put in like the house address, like 3616 Sesame Street, and then prepared especially for would be the client's name. So it would have it all down there for you. They can open up and read through your fine print if that's something that they want to do. You'll have your intro video that they can watch, your crowning achievement works, your designs with the pricing associated, and then closing it all out with your company's information at the end. So this is a really nice, elegant proposal that you can just simply add to your CRM. You can put it in the description box. You can send it ahead of time. Of course, you can just share the photos if you'd rather do that as well, or you can use our classic proposal as well. But that is a big new thing that we are now offering in Holiday Home Concepts. And the other thing that's coming in about 3 weeks, which I am super excited for, is a jobber integration. It is something that we have been working on so hard.
Wow, congrats.
And so many people have been asking us for it. So we want to make sure that we work well with the CRM that works for you. This way, it'll eliminate a lot of double data entry. Things will port over a little bit more easily. And we're really, really excited about it.
That's incredible. Congratulations on that. Any chance you're doing House Call Pro?
That is one of the ones we are looking at next. We're kind of going in order of popularity, so to speak.
But H comes before J. That's all I'm saying. All right.
So we're starting off with Jobber. Then we're looking at House Call Pro, possibly Service Titan, Service Monster, and then going consecutively down from there. But House Call Pro is number 2 on the list right now. So
all right, I'll take a runner up for that one. Still my favorite.
Well, that is all our new things that are coming out. We do have a couple more changes that are going to be happening soon, which will be the ability to rename your designs, which is super cool. And a lot of these innovations are coming from our new software, Landscape Lighting Unlimited. So if anyone is starting to design landscaping, we do have a new software out. It's lludesign.com, and it has so many cool features. It gives you full Kelvin control over individual lights, and it looks just absolutely beautiful. There's just really so much you can do with it. All of these lights are individually controlled, as you can see. They look so natural. You can change that Kelvin temperature. You can change your spreads however you need to. You're going to be able to change your beam lengths, your intensities, angles, whether or not you want to show the fixture or to hide the fixture. All of this is also calculating for you, just like in Holiday Home Concepts. So you're putting in your pricing on a good, better, best basis for each type of fixture. If you're someone that really needs those RGB colors, we have lots of those available in whatever RGB shade you could possibly need. We also have our awesome AI magic button that does even more things than Holiday Home Concepts does. You can glow and light up your windows. You can remove landscaping. You can remove cars that are in the way. All of these things are so cool. I absolutely love them, and I feel like it's just added a whole lot to our landscape lighting side of things.
That's awesome. Congrats on
Really
that.
exciting.
All right, so let's talk about some of the cool like add-ons that you guys have, because I know there's other lighting softwares out there and they're just not the same. Just like, our business is not the same as other lighting companies in the area. The things we do to set ourselves apart. I mean, you guys have an incredible support system. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the big things that we've noticed, especially with a lot of the smaller spin up companies that are coming out, they're kind of weekend warriors, if you will. So they're creating things on Claude, they find something that works for their company, and then they're trying to sell it. But having a software company is so much bigger than that. You need to have a full support staff behind you. So our team includes both front and back end developers, project managers. We have a full staff for support, for just customer relations within the office itself. So we have 4 different people who are replying to those emails, answering things, sending videos, handling account problems if there are any, answering billing questions. All those types of things are really important. And we recently actually hired 2 security experts out of Tasmania, just next to Australia, because there's actually been a huge problem in the software world where a lot of these open source data project libraries have actually been attacked by malware. And so a lot of people don't even realize their software has malware in it. They haven't built it with that in mind. And so our team is preemptively going through every single library we have. They're making sure that every piece of code is completely clean. They set up parameters to make sure that we are super safe. That's what professional software companies do. And it's important. Why? Because you are storing your client's data in these platforms. You're responsible for their data because of that. And it's not just, your payment platform, it's how you're saving that information too. So always really important to do. It's something that we're constantly thinking about. You all get to see the fancy front end, but there's a whole back end that we are improving and working on all the time that just simply does things like keeps things smoother or makes things run nicer or keeps things safe.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And it's needed too, because you never know what kind of technicalities you'll have, during the season, issues arise, and having that support, knowing that somebody's there for you. Again, just like the service you want to provide for your clients, you're doing that for your clients here at Holiday Home Concepts. Yes, they can get cheaper software out there, but guess what? Your clients can get cheaper lights out there too. Do you want to be the cheapest person out there? I don't think so. So, don't look at the cost of doing it. Look at the cost of not doing it. The missed opportunities, the lower closing percentage, the lower average tickets, like all those things you can make up in one job. One job is all it takes. And you pay for the whole software for the year. You don't have to think about it anymore.
And being able to replicate what you're doing in a system for other people.
Yes.
So again, if you have to have an individual login that only you have access to with only your own prompts or whatever it might be, you're not going to be able to slide into your admin's account, take a look at what they're doing, say, okay, hey, these are some things we need to fix, give approvals, whatever that might be. That collaboration aspect is so important. If you're that single person who's still in a tree, wrapping, taking that phone call, and then saying, I'm going to do this estimate later when I get home, you've just built yourself a job. It's not a business.
Yeah.
So think about, with growth in mind, what tools are most important for your business so that you can grow and you can be a business owner and get out of the field.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. So if people want to find out more information or get signed up, how do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple places you can go. If you're going to Holiday Home Concepts, you can go to our pricing page. We also have a 7-day free trial option for you as well. So you can try it before you buy it. We are strong believers that good products should sell themselves. Really important to do. Our pricing page does have that pricing available for you all on a 1, 6, or 12-month basis, with 12 months being the cheapest. We do have a unique Genius promo code and one through JC as well that will give you 10% off of these prices as well. We have a just Christmas or Christmas plus the permanent lighting option. Either of those are available to you. It comes with full training for your entire company. If you need yearly training over again, or you hire someone new, we will train them as well. It doesn't cost you a penny more. As we mentioned this morning, I retrained all of Unique Genius this morning, and I'll be happy to do it again next year. So that's there for you as well. If you're interested in the landscape lighting side, you can always go to lludesign.com. And similarly, we also have that 7-day free trial. We also have some really great discounts for that as well. If you see us on this podcast, you can also email us at info@holidayhomeconcepts.com, and we're going to offer you some very special pricing at the 20% off for finding us through Unique Genius for LLU Design.
Awesome. All right. You heard it here from Sarah, how to get signed up. We do have our team trained with Unique Genius. Hildy did drop her link in the comments if you want to go ahead and get a discovery call scheduled with her to get your strategic partner onboarded. Again, invest in yourself. Don't be the same business owner you were last year, stuck in the weeds, on the roof, answering phone calls, drowning in estimates, drowning in follow-ups. Two little things we're talking about right now. Holiday Home Concepts, Unique Genius is the perfect playbook for success during the lighting season. Increasing average ticket, increasing closing percentage, taking a load off of your plate by having your team do all the work for you. I mean, imagine this, being a business owner during a Christmas light season and having fun. Because you're not going to do it by doing it all by yourself and trying to figure it out. There's so many businesses out there that have it figured out, dialed in. Why are you trying to be different? Be unique, work with Unique Genius, work with Holiday Home Concepts. Sarah, thank you so much. We were so excited for you. Congratulations to the Jobber, to all the different features and the upgrades you guys continually put it out there. Shows how much you care about the industry. You're not trying to make a dollar, but you're really trying to make the business model for business owners so much easier for lighting and the experience so much better for Christmas light customers. So thank you for all you've done.
Yeah, and thank you for having me, guys. I can't emphasize what an inspiration y'all have been to me. I've been following you all. It's so funny. Ever since I've seen you guys, just like how hard you all work, not just in your business, but like in the gym and everything else. It's been a big inspiration to me and my husband. And so I've gotten to the point where I am in the gym 6 days a week now, which I never thought was going to be possible. But seeing you all do it has really just been a wonderful inspiration to us.
Well, that means a lot to us. So appreciate you.
We love the collab with you, and everyone that's watching, join us next week. We're back at the same time, 5:30, to give you another tool that is I feel like the ultimate trio. With Unique Genius and Holiday Home Concepts will be with James from Live Switch, and it gets you all those views and talking to the customer live and doing all the things. And you can literally be sitting at home on your computer, Christmas light owners, and cranking out estimates, just cranking them out, getting your install crews going without you running around. So
if you like dealing virtual estimates, remote estimates, this is the show. I mean, we talked about the software to upsell and to increase that average ticket and closing percentage, but now we're going to show you how to do it remotely, having your admin team do it from the office or remotely in the Philippines. Lots of great stuff. But Sarah, we'll see you at the Huge. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll see you there. I can't wait. And I'm going to run that 5K with you guys.
All right. We'll see you there. Thank you so much, Sarah. And everybody watching, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we will see you next week. Take care.